Hello, and welcome to ADRA Asia Focus. Have you ever wondered what ADRA, otherwise known as the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, is doing in Asia? As the humanitarian arm of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, ADRA is working to provide relief and development opportunities so all may live as God intended. ADRA Asia Focus is the quarterly program of the ADRA Asia Regional Office in partnership with Hope Channel Southeast Asia. ADRA Asia Focus will take you on a journey illustrating how ADRA is serving 17 countries in Asia. In today's episode, we'll be highlighting how ADRA is addressing livelihood recovery following disaster in Indonesia.
Formerly known as the Dutch East Indies, Indonesia proclaimed independence in 1945. Comprised of some 17,500 islands, Indonesia is considered one of the most populous countries in the world. Located off the coast of mainland Southeast Asia, Indonesia lies across the equator. The capital, Jakarta, is located near the northwestern coast of Java. Nestled in the Pacific Ring of Fire, Indonesia experiences frequent natural disasters such as volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and tsunamis. The consistent monsoon climate makes growing crops throughout the country possible. Agricultural lands are often devoted to rice plantations and cash crops, bringing income to farming households. The Indonesian population is incredibly diverse, boasting more than 300 ethnic groups, twice as many distinct languages, and a mixture of major world and indigenous religions, majority of which profess Islam. With 9.8% of the population living below the poverty line, now Indonesia is considered the sixth country of greatest wealth inequality in the world.
On the 21st February 1991, ADRA registered with the government of Indonesia to begin activity in country establishing what we know today as ADRA Indonesia. Let us take a direct look at how ADRA has been impacting the life of this Indonesian family through growing maize.
My name is Sulaiman. I am 47 years old. I live in Membawa village. My activity before the earthquake was specifically in agriculture, namely corn plantations. The challenge for me is about the fertilizers. To get subsidized fertilizer, I must have a tiny cart. But since I don't have it yet, I cannot get the fertilizers. At this time, I feel grateful that ADRA has entered our village. It is Membawa village. And ADRA provides several pieces of training, such as business training and making organic fertilizer. And in addition, ADRA provides multi-purpose assistance, 5 million rupees. We use this fund to buy agriculture materials. I'm make organic fertilizer by 1. Gather the ingredients such as chocolate skin, banana stems, and gum leaves. 2nd, I chop the ingredients into small pieces. The 3rd, the process of making by drying for 2 up to 3 days. After that, the fertilizer is directly applied to corn plants. For me, the results are very satisfying. Previously, the corn husks that I planted were yellowish. It means that the plant is not healthy. After I used organic fertilizer, there was a change in the corn leaves from yellow to green. Thanks to Swiss Solidarity and ADRA for providing us cash assistance and training so we can grow crops again. We thank you again very much.
Through ADRA Indonesia's Relief Project, Sulaiman learned valuable skills in growing maize to support his family following a devastating earthquake that destroyed his agricultural land. To discuss this project in more detail, we are joined today by Project Officer Gracia Vinas. Gracia, a warm welcome to you. First, can you tell us a little bit more about the Relief Project?
The Relief Project is an acronym for Recover and Improve Livelihoods for Earthquake-Affected Families project, funded by Swiss Solidarity and ADRA Switzerland. The project was implemented in Sigi Regency in Central Sulawesi Province, and we assisted 739 affected households during the project of 1-year term from October 2020 to September 2021.
What were the conditions in the affected area, and why do you think this project was needed?
So in September 2018, there was an earthquake in the province of Central Sulawesi, and that triggered a tsunami and liquefaction of the soil, and with more than 400 aftershocks that can lead to fatalities. And most of the significant damage was caused by this disaster was to agriculture, plantations, animal husbandry, and small entrepreneurship. In rural areas, most people's livelihood were affected, and they were dependent on agricultural land and canals for irrigation and drainage systems. Sigi Regency in Central Sulawesi is one of the 62 underdeveloped regency in Indonesia, and they need an enhanced support during the period of 2020 to 2024. Unfortunately, Sigi Regency needs to wait for adequate funding from the national government since the allocation of the budget is currently being focused on tackling the COVID-19 pandemic.
What is the main goal of this relief project, and what were the main activities?
So the main goal is to help these earthquake-affected families in recovering and improve their livelihoods. There are 3 outcomes to support the goals. The first outcome is to, through irrigation, drainage systems, repairs, and mitigation measures against erosions and flash floodings, farmers can resume and improve cultivation of their arable land. Then second outcome is relief project establish community engagement in the local water association to improve water distribution and mechanism and maintenance of irrigation and drainage systems. The project also distributed conditional and restricted cash assistance and implemented specific training sessions to allow the most vulnerable families to recover, improve, modify, and diversify their livelihoods.
Can you describe what impact there has been in people's lives since this project has implemented?
Following the earthquake, much of the land could not be planted optimally due to waterways and irrigation system being disturbed by the disaster. However, following the relief project, the community was able to use their land to the fullest. Not only that, the water distribution and maintenance system were even better than before. Communities have been able to recover with assistance of funds provided and an increased knowledge through trainings in running their businesses. There is one example of a small business owner, which is Ibu Sakina. He suffered a drastic decline in income after she attended a series of trainings and received financial assistance from the project. She was able to increase her profits of her business, and now she knows better business strategies and can keep simple bookkeeping. And also, her husband helped her in her business.
What challenges did ADRA encounter?
So, as we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic began in early 2020, and it has affected our project in several ways. With restrictions, this really limited our movement in project areas where community gatherings are limited in number and activity venues must be in an open area. Many of our beneficiaries are also older people, so we really need to make sure that the community stays safe when participating in the project activities. Therefore, we always comply with the COVID-19 or health protocols.
Finally, let's discuss what other work is ADRA supporting to help those most in need.
ADRA Indonesia is now assisting the most vulnerable groups of people to COVID-19, especially the elderly, in getting vaccinated. This activity is in line with the government's activity with an aim of accelerating vaccination rates across Indonesia. It is to create herd immunity and increase the immunity of vulnerable communities in dealing with new mutations and preventing the elderly or people with disabilities and those with comorbidities from being exposed to or becoming victims of COVID-19.
Thank you very much, Gracia, for joining us today to provide a snapshot of ADRA's work in Indonesia. And now to this quarter's ADRA news. In India, ADRA has provided oxygen generator plants to hospitals in Pune, Ottapalam, Bangalore, and Newsvid. As a part of their ongoing COVID-19 response, ADRA is ensuring a provision of adequate healthcare equipment in combating a rise of infections during the country's third wave. During the second wave last year, ADRA was able to provide oxygen generator plants to the Adventist Hospital in Surat. A further 2 oxygen generator plants are on their way to reach Ranchi and Aizawl. In Sri Lanka, ADRA distributed 1,002 personal protection kits and IEC brochures on vaccination aftercare and several vaccination centers in Negombo and Minuwangoda area of Gambaha district. The intervention was carried out as part of the ADRA International funded Building Resilience and Vaccine Awareness Project, also known as BRAVE. And finally, in the Philippines, Category 5 Super Typhoon Rai, known locally as Typhoon Odette, wrought havoc on December 16, affecting more than 8 million people in Visayas Islands and northeastern Mindanao. The 180 to 240 kilometers per hour winds caused widespread flooding and landslides, resulting in 407 fatalities and destroyed over 350,000 homes. ADRA's emergency team quickly responded to provide cash or food assistance to over 6,000 households in Surigao del Norte, Dinagat Island, Cebu, Southern Leyte, Negros Oriental, Negros Occidental, and Palawan. This large simultaneous response was made possible through close partnership and coordination with the Adventist Community Services. ADRA Philippines wishes to thank the ACS, district pastors, Hope Channel, all individuals, and corporate donors and volunteers that contributed to making this response successful in reaching those most in need. Well, that's all in this quarter's ADRA News. If you would like to learn more about the ADRA Asia Regional Office and the 17 countries ADRA's work touches in Asia, visit www.adraasia.org. We ask that you continue to pray for ADRA and for the thousands of lives we serve. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode with a snapshot into a work of ADRA Indonesia. Thank you for your continued support. We will see you in the next episode.